Hamster buyers at the vegetable counter, rationed goods at Tesco. Hamster buyers is what we in Germany say for stockpiling, but from time to time I think it's nice to bring up German proverbs into these videos because I'm talking from a German point of view. And after the corona foreclosure, Great Britain is threatened with bottlenecks. Before the end of the Brexit deadline, the country is wondering how dependent it is on EU food. And just one thing about history, I know many Brexiteers always come up with Hitler, Nazis, blah blah blah, but there was a time after that. And older Berliners still know the airlift. Those months of 1948-49 when the western sector of the city had to be supplied by air. The people in Great Britain, which was isolated from the European Union for days due to the corona mutation, may have at least a tiny small impression of this. Because a cargo plane is also used. Not a raisin bomber as we called them, but a Boeing 777 from Lufthansa, packed full of fresh fruit and vegetables that have become in short supply there within a few days. In order to fill the shelves in British supermarkets with lettuce or cauliflower before Christmas, they started with 80 tons of fruit and vegetables on board for the United Kingdom. And their destination? Doncaster Sheffield Airport in central England. The previous flow of goods between the EU and Great Britain largely came to a standstill after France closed the border because of particular contagious corona mutations that occurred in Great Britain. Many freight forwarders cancelled their tours completely, and before the Brexit deadline on December 31st, there was a sudden threat of supply bottlenecks. For those who are already there, nothing has worked for days. Thousands of truck drivers are stuck in southeast England, even with perishable goods. Meanwhile, truckers with a negative corona test should be allowed to pass again, but for many things are still not progressing. In view of this, Lufthansa is already preparing for further flights. Lufthansa Cargo is currently examining whether further additional cargo flights can be offered in the next few days, they said. A regular flight could possibly also be used. This could be with a freighter, but we are also checking whether we can use passenger aircraft for cargo flights. In this situation, if the Brexit talks fail once and for all, which it doesn't look like at the moment when I'm filming this, but still, the British face even greater problems. The country is now wondering how dependent is the UK on food from the European Union. The British themselves have answered this question for themselves at the supermarket checkout these days and are stocking up for bad times. The retail giant Tesco has already been forced to ration toilet paper, eggs, rice and soap because of the hamster buyers. Trade associations warn that some fresh products could become scarce in British supermarkets after Christmas at the latest. Around a third of all food consumed in Great Britain comes from the EU, the broadcaster BBC determined, citing the trade association BRC. Almost half of all fresh vegetables and most of the fruit are important, especially, not only important, but also imported, especially in winter. When there's little growth in Great Britain itself, they are dependent on imports. Tesco has introduced purchase restrictions on a number of items in range. This includes toilet papers, eggs, rice, soap and hand wash. Since Monday, customers have been allowed to buy a maximum of 1 pack of toilet paper. Eggs, rice, soap and detergents are each allowed 3 units, according to the British Guardian. According to information from the newspaper, trade experts assume that the rationing is a preventive measure to smooth out demand in the coming weeks, rather than a reaction to shortages or hamster purchases. However, the British seem to have been preparing for an emergency for a long time. For months, sales have exceeded restrictions on products such as flour, dried pasta and antibacterial wipes. On Monday, supermarkets and wholesalers are warned that fresh produce like lettuce, broccoli and citrus fruits could run short before Christmas because thousands of trucks were stranded in Kent after France closed its borders with Britain. But even if the trucks were unloaded in time, the emergency situation was foreseeable. Given the difficulties in order traffic due to Brexit and the corona restrictions, it was unlikely that they would come back in time with new goods. Tesco had already introduced a limit on the purchase of toilet paper in November to prevent panic buying as in March, and encouraged customers to shop as usual. The company said there would be plenty of food until December 25th. And if you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my other channels. I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.